Y'all, man. It's your boy, Hennythemoor, reporting live from the liquor store. How's everybody doing this fine Sunday morning? I know everybody's getting prepared to watch these championship games coming up. I'm definitely excited to see Kansas City versus the Ravens. We still gotta, show some love to the Texas kid, Patrick Mahomes. So, hoping that he come out victorious in that one. Definitely want to see the NFC championship game tonight. That's gonna really shape how I feel about this season going, this upcoming season going forward, depending on who makes it, what we need to do to match up and finally get over the hump. But we got some stuff to talk about this morning, man. So Philadelphia Eagles made a move and hired former Dallas Cowboy offensive coordinator Kellen Moore after he spent a 1-year stint with the Los Angeles Chargers. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the quarterback room as a whole, right? How they graded out over the course of the season. My thoughts and opinion on how they fared, right? I know that everybody's still upset with the playoff game, but we're going to talk about how they fared over the course of the entire season. So we're going to, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do position by position, go in and just, break them down. We'll start with the quarterback room, so that's the most visible one. We'll move to wide receiver, running back, offensive line, etc., etc. And we'll cover every position group on how they fared this season, what I would improve, what needs to change, so on and so forth. So we're going to have a review of the quarterback room, see what went well, what went wrong. And, we're going to have ourselves a good time in the liquor store, man. But on the way in, though, man, y'all know the proper procedures when y'all tap in with your independent content creators, man. First and foremost, when you slide into the liquor store, first thing I need y'all to do is hit that like button. The more likes that we get on these videos, the more that these platforms will push the content for us, man. That's pretty much just how the algorithm works. So if you want the liquor store to be more visible to other folks just surfing the internet, to other folks that jump on YouTube, you want us to be referred and recommended, hit the like button, man. It goes a long, long way in helping your boy Hennythemoor out, man. We're still trying to grow and prosper over here in the liquor store. Matter of fact, if you ain't already told a friend or a homeboy to come over here and subscribe to the liquor store, do that for your boy. We're on the road to 2,000 subs. Right now we're at 1,760 something. So we're growing steadily, still trying to improve, still trying to be great in the liquor store, man. After you hit that like button, right? Because I believe all y'all will. I think y'all look out for me. Y'all do that. After y'all hit that like button, what I need y'all to do is hit that share button, right? Because sharing is caring. I think everybody, mama, granny, auntie done told y'all that. But we also believe in manifestation in the liquor store. We didn't do a good enough job this year. We didn't pray hard enough. We didn't manifest hard enough. We didn't put enough positive energy into the world, apparently, because the Dallas Cowboys did not reach their ultimate goal. But we can get an early jump on next year, man. So go ahead, do like my boy JVB boy just did and drop those 6 emojis, man. Do like my boy 434 Cowboy did and drop those 6 championship trophies, right? So share the content 6 times. Drop 6 emojis if you want the Dallas Cowboys to win their 6th title in the 2024 season, man. And listen, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to believe in them for what they done did. But, we got to keep building, got to stay positive, got to stay strong. We can at least do our parts, man. We can at least do our parts. And most importantly, man, I need y'all to slap the dog shit out of a Philadelphia Eagles fan, man. Because listen, the reason I'm really doing this first portion of the show, because the entire show was really just going to be about reviewing the quarterback room and what they did in the 2024 season. But these folks are really trying to tell me about Kellen Moore like I didn't live through it. Like I didn't live through it. Like I didn't see this man call plays in Dallas from the 2019 season forward. Right? I've seen years and years of Kellen Moore play calling. I know his tendencies. I know what he's good at, what he's bad at. But they're trying to talk to us on there like we're the delusional ones. So I just wanted to go ahead and have this conversation about Kellen Moore, tell the truth, and then I'm off of it. He said Kellen Moore going to run up the scoreboard on Dallas. I highly doubt it. JVB boy said, "Can I get a wrench?" Yeah, man. Let me go over here and wrench you up real quick, my boy. I got you. Let me get it pulled up, and I got you. So hey, y'all welcome my boy JVB boy to the wrench gang, man. My boy should have already had a wrench, man. But you know, I got my boy. JVB boy, there you go. There your wrench. Welcome to the wrench gang, man. C Mello, appreciate it. He said, I sent hate is coming. I ain't got nothing to hate on. We try to give the same warning to the Los Angeles Charger fans last year, and they did not listen to us. Do y'all see how that shit turned out? Right, I bet you there's not a single Charger fan that is upset that Kellen Moore is leaving. Right, because there's no hate. Like, Kellen Moore is good at play design. Kellen Moore has some, he has some things he does well. But situational play calling is not one of them. He runs way too many option routes. But I'll talk about it in depth in just a second, man. So yes, he said Kellen Moore is a fraud. Let's freaking go. Cowboys love number 6. Welcome to the wrench gang, bro. JVB boy. In fact, salute to my boy JVB boy for becoming part of the family. He been a part of the family, but you know. Matter of fact, Rev Rebel. Okay, yeah, you got Yearn. Okay, everybody that need wrenches got wrenches, so we good. We are Gucci. All right, but let's go ahead and talk about it, man. So here's the report, right? This is the report. This is from Yahoo Sports. And, they reported the move that Kellen Moore did sign laterally. Remember, he did not get promoted. He signed laterally to an offensive coordinator position for the third time, right? He was the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. He signed laterally and became the Los Angeles Chargers offensive coordinator. And, he just signed laterally and became the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator, which is actually telling in and of itself, because most good offensive coordinators don't stay offensive coordinators long. They usually get head coaching jobs. But here's Kellen Moore, after years and years of being an OC, still not getting any love to be a head coach. But this is Kellen Moore. This is the report that he went ahead and signed a contract to become the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator. Let's take a read. And this is by Jack Bear, who wrote this shit. So let's see. Kellen Moore will be the Philadelphia Eagles' third offensive coordinator in 3 years. Well, let me just start with that. There are plenty of Eagles fans that were trolling the Dallas Cowboys, saying that Dak keeps getting people fired. He keeps getting offensive coordinators fired. And Lord and behold, Jalen Hurts is on his third offensive coordinator within the last 3 years. Right. Of course, Steichen went on and became a head coach. They pretty much threw Brian Johnson after, they kicked him off the boat. And now Kellen Moore is going to come in and be the play caller. What's up with your lights crazy? How you doing? Dwayne Brown, my brother, what's up with you? Thank y'all for tapping in and showing love to the liquor store, man. Make sure y'all hit that like and share button on the way in, man. Thanks for the love. All right. Conversely, Moore will be joining his third team in 3 years, right? So there's that. There's duality within that. Moore previously worked as the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers, but will move on after the team's firing of Brandon Staley and hiring of Jim Harbaugh as head coach. Harbaugh will presumably want to hire his own offensive coordinator in Los Angeles. The Eagles have already made a switch at defensive coordinator, hiring former Miami Dolphins DC Vic Fangio. Before the Chargers, Moore coached for the Eagles' division rival, the Dallas Cowboys, from 2018 to 2022. After his retirement as a player, he was promoted to offensive coordinator after 1 season as quarterbacks coach and worked under both Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy. Moore's offense led the NFL in yards gained twice and ranked in the top 10 in points gained 3 times in 4 years. Despite that success, Moore and the Cowboys opted to part ways after 2022. Some indication of philosophical differences from Mike McCarthy. Right, so remember, we always said that Big Mike was the one that went ahead and got Kellen Moore whacked in Dallas. And this report pretty much doubles down on that. They pretty much confirm that them not seeing eye to eye on how to call these plays or what to do is the reason he's no longer in Dallas. Hey, Splendor Poppy, James Simmons, what's up with y'all, man? Thank y'all for sliding in and showing love to the liquor store early this morning. Miss Regina Green, what's up with you? Thank you for sliding in and showing love to the liquor store this morning. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in and rocking with your boy. So let's continue. Let's see what they talking about. I've been where Kellen has been, McCarthy said. Kellen wants to light the scoreboard up, but I want to run the damn ball so I can rest my defense. Think when you're a coordinator, but you're in charge of the offense. Being a head coach and being a play caller, you're a little more in tune. And that is, the difference. Kellen Moore did not know when to stop throwing the football. There were games, right? There were games where if we had just ran the football, we would have came out of there with wins. But instead, Kellen Moore's offense continued to throw the ball, continued to not kill the clock, and we saw what happened. We saw Kellen Moore's inability to end games cost us the Green Bay game. We saw Kellen Moore's inability to kill the clock in the Jacksonville game cost us to lose that game in overtime. So there were some things that, philosophically, Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore did not agree on, right? There's a reason why the Dallas Cowboys were able to score as many points as we did against teams like the Commanders. Kellen Moore beat the dog shit out of the Commanders. They would beat the dog shit out of the Commanders, put up a 40-burger, 50-burger, with everything on it. But we also seen what happened when Kellen Moore's offense ran up against good defenses. We seen this same offensive guru fail to score double-digit points against the Kansas City Chiefs. We seen this same offensive guru run up against the 49ers twice, and his offense gets shut down. We seen the miscues and the miscommunication that came with his offense because he loved the option routes. He loved running curve routes that could be undercut, right? Because a majority of we'll talk about that a little bit more depth in just a second. Because I'm gonna get on the soapbox and I'm not gonna finish reading this. So let's stay on task. Let me finish reading this and we'll talk about what Kellen Moore actually runs, how he fares, and everything else like that. Said McCarthy, who avoided a firing after the disaster end to the season against the Green Bay Packers, will now face Moore's offense twice next year and possibly beyond. The Eagles had an even more disastrous end to the season, finishing the season on a 1-6 skid before losing in the wild card round. And yes, it was a worse loss because you got to think about it. Philadelphia Eagles went from having a first-round bye to getting a first-round exit. First team ever to start 10-1 and not win at least 12 football games, despite the fact that they had an extra game to get the 12th win. So putrid. They did finish off worse than us when you put it into proper context. People will say the 2 seed getting upset by the 7 seed. There's only been a 7 seed for the last 3 years. Their odds are there will be other 7 seeds to beat 2 seeds. It's just the way the world works. And if 1 seeds did not have buys, I'm pretty sure that 1 seeds will get upset as well, playing in the first round. It's just the way that it happens in the National Football League. But let's continue. The Eagles have one of the most talented group of weapons in the NFL with quarterback Jalen Hurts, wide receivers A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. Moore will now be tasked with innovating on an offense that saw plenty of success under the coordinator who preceded Johnson, current Indianapolis Colts head coach Shane Steichen. All right. So that intel was the report. He said Cowboys' loss was worse. It's more of an upset, maybe. But the Eagles, we talk about the entire stretch. The Eagles had the 1 seed sold up, right? We talk about the entire stretch of them going from the number 1 seed in the NFL to being out of the postseason in the first round. We talking about that entire collapse. Like that collapse from 1 seed to first round exit is a bigger lapse because one, it has more historical significance. Like that had never happened before, and it's over a longer period of time. You could say 2 seed being upset by 7 seed, but we just started having 7 seeds, so odds of that happening again, is very high. It's very high. Odds of another team getting the 10 wins and not getting the 12 is this probably not going to happen. It is probably not going to happen. Say Eagles had a historic meltdown. So that was what they said about Kellen Moore. So let's talk about what Kellen Moore actually runs. We know Kellen Moore utilizes a version of the air courier offense. He implements a bunch of curl routes. He implements a bunch of option routes. But I'm going to just go ahead and show y'all the article. Right, the Chargers got him. The Chargers did a nice little breakdown about what he runs conceptually when he became the offensive coordinator for them, back then. He said, CD Mama don't know football, and that's fine. Like, listen, do y'all believe that CD Mama can tell you the difference between cover 1, cover 3, cover 6? Do you think that she understands play progression or anything? So I'm sorry. Some of us just going to have to accept a parent speaking out. Some of us are just going to have to accept a parent speaking out on behalf of their child as just that. It was an emotional outburst by a person that probably does not fully know football. Jalen Hurts going to be a pocket passer now. I see 20 interceptions. Hey, I definitely see a uptick in Jalen Hurts interceptions moving into the 2024 season, just because this is going to be a volume passing offense. It's going to be a volume passing offense. Kellen Moore is not a person. And listen, maybe he's changed, right? Maybe in the year he spent with the Chargers, he's changed some of his philosophies. But, from what I've seen, Kellen Moore is still the same Kellen Moore who refuses to run the football consistently. You might get a couple games, you might get a stretch of him running the football, but you will never just get consistent offensive production from Kellen Moore in running the football, game in and game out. You won't get that. The moment that things go awry, he's gonna lean back on the same stuff that got him here. Hey, shout out to my brother Dan Burke in the building, man. What's up with you? I see you with the 6 football emojis in the chat box, man. Yeah, we gotta win those 6. We gotta win that 6 championship, man. We got to. So let's go ahead and talk about it, because the Chargers did a good little write up about the air courier system that he brought to their team this year. Kellen Moore says air courier offense will absolutely influence the 2023 Chargers system. So remember, he bringing this in. Air courier is pretty much what he ran at Boise, right? Remember, Kellen Moore did not make it in the NFL, but he was one of the most prolific collegiate quarterbacks that there ever was, right? If I'm not mistaken, he only had like 2 or 3 losses in his entire college career. So, they put up great numbers. They won a lot of games in the air courier. So that's what he likes to implement and what he likes to use since he's been in the league as a play caller. So on Wednesday, the Chargers media met with new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore for the first time over a virtual call. Questions posed to him range from the idea of working with Justin Herbert to how his time has been getting to know head coach Brandon Staley. But the one question that drew my attention the most was when the NFL Network's Matt Money Smith asked Moore to describe his core offensive beliefs when it comes to constructing a new system in Los Angeles. Eagles said Chargers had a lot of injuries, so it wasn't Kellen Moore's fault. They're going to continue to be obtuse. They're going to continue to, cope, right? They don't want to believe that Kellen Moore is a bad hire. They're holding on to hope. They won't change. And that's pretty much, that's the norm, honestly. When you're moving on from an offensive coordinator or a coordinator you don't like, the first person you hire, you're willing to believe in them, put faith in them. That's why, that's really what the Dallas Cowboys fans wanted, right? With a head coaching change, we wanted hope. We were hoping that a new person would come in and make us feel better about this upcoming season, that things would be different. But remember, just because you change something doesn't just ensure that you make it better, right? They've changed offensive coordinators, but I'm not sure that they are going to be a better football team, right? But let's continue into this. But that's probably why they feel that way. They probably were sick and tired of Brian Johnson, and they want to latch on to the first person they see. Said, we're going to build a 2023 LA Chargers offense, Moore said emphatically. Will you be able to see the Air Coryell, Jason Garrett side? Absolutely. Will you see the West Coast and Mike McCarthy? Absolutely. We'll keep things in place here that Justin feels really, really good about, and we'll explore. I think naturally, just because you have coached with some coaches doesn't mean you're greatly influenced by those guys. Moore went on to note how much he loves watching the younger head coaches in the NFL, especially the ones who are calling plays for their team. I love watching those guys and studying their offenses, and I hope I can incorporate some of that. I think it will be a beautiful blend. Now, while the video didn't include the names of those coaches he was talking about, plenty of names still come to mind. The Bengals' Dan Pitcher and the Lions' Ben Johnson are two examples, both of whom either still are or were some of the hottest commodities during this year's hiring cycle. Legendary Chargers coach Don Coryell helped revolutionize the passing game behind the arm of Dan Fouts and the hands of Kellen Winslow and Charlie Joyner. It was predicated on intermediate and deep passing concepts paired with a power run game. After a 2022 season that saw the Chargers do everything they could to gain 6 yards through the air every other play, anything that resembles Air Coryell's system probably sounds like a dream come true. Yeah, and we all know how that worked out, right? So for the people who are wondering, what the hell is the Air Coryell system that he was talking about? What the hell is the Air Coryell? Pros and college is different. His system won't work on good teams, and it has not worked, right? It has not worked. But when we talk about a play caller, they usually stick to what they're comfortable with. Like, they may have some things that they do to change their tendencies so they're not as easily scouted. But, really, in the grand scheme of things, a tiger cannot change his stripes. A leopard cannot change his spots. Like, you are who you are. Kellen Moore is a pass-happy offensive coordinator. He's going to call curls. He's going to call option routes. He's not, listen, that's just who he is. Those are the staples in his offense that he will always go on. Those are the staples of the offense he will always stay with. Yeah, and you're right. Jason Garrett was an Air Coryell offensive play caller. But for the people who want to understand what that means, because it differs. Air Coryell does differ from West Coast and things like that. So let me see if I can get a Webster. All right, so we'll Wikipedia this one. Hey, shout out to my brother Keystone in the building with the $10 super. He said Brian and Kellen are the same, and the Eagles think they upgraded. This is comical. Man, listen. Kellen Moore does not really fit Philadelphia for the quarterback that they have. They have the wide receivers and the tight end to run the offense, right? They have great outside weapons. They got a good tight end that can, take the middle of the field and be a weapon in that area. But Jalen Hurts is not a quarterback that you want to throw the ball 40 to 45 times in a football game. They were complaining about him, about Jalen Hurts passing attempts this year, right? And he was only averaging about 33 pass attempts this year. There was a season where Dak Prescott averaged damn near 40 pass attempts with Kellen Moore as his play caller. So, you know, man, I get it. You know, they're happy. You know, they won't change. When people won't change, they feel a certain way. They want certain things to go in their favor. But, man, I don't think it's the fit. But here we go. Let's go ahead and pull this one up. We're going to talk about the Air Coryell offense. Yeah, hey, she said bifocals, Henny. Yeah, man, you know, I am blind as a motherfucker. I cannot hold you. I am super blind. Sometimes you're gonna see me with the contacts. Sometimes you're gonna see me with the products. Right? You might see these product glasses on. These are not for show. Like, they are designer, but I really am blind. But thank y'all for tapping in and showing love to the liquor store. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like and share button on the way in. All right, so for anybody who is curious about the definition of the Air Coryell offense, in American football, Air Coryell is the offensive scheme and philosophy developed by former San Diego Chargers coach Don Coryell, right? So it's named after the person who invented it. The offensive philosophy has been also called the Coryell offense or the vertical offense, right? And that is different from the West Coast offense. The West Coast offense is a horizontal offense, right? That's why you see the slants. That's why you see the mesh routes. That's why you see those routes going side to side. Air Coryell is for verticals, right? Vertical passing. You're trying to go down the field. You're trying to throw a touchdown or a check down, pretty much. That is the offensive philosophy of the Air Coryell offense. Is either touchdown or check down. With Dan Fouts, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback, by the way, with Dan Fouts as quarterback, the San Diego Chargers offense was among the greatest passing offenses in National Football League history. The Chargers led the league in passing yards and NFL record 6 consecutive years from 78 to 83 and again in 85. They also led the league in total yards and offense from 78 to 83 and again in 85. Dan Fouts, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow, and Don Coryell all went on to be inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Right? So you can put up numbers in the offense that Kellen Moore wants to run. You can put up numbers in there because we've seen it. But it's about the personnel, right? Because we just named out 3 Hall of Fame players that made that offense work. Dan Fouts is very underrated because Dan Fouts never won a Super Bowl, right? Charlie Joyner and Kellen Winslow are very underrated. Oh yeah, he said he grew up watching Dan. Man, Dan Fouts is a great quarterback that does not get the love that he deserves. There's really a bunch of them, really, man. Like, if you're old enough to, even if you're not old enough, you go back and watch some of these older quarterbacks, man, like, they were some dogs. Like, there's a bunch of guys that played back in the gap that would have really loved the opportunity to play into some of these new offenses, man. Especially with the way that they protect the wide receivers and the quarterbacks now. Like, they would put up ungodly numbers. GM Lunar Love, you was great on Angry Cowboys and Sports Junkie yesterday. Y'all sub to them if y'all haven't. Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to do that because I didn't know. Yeah, I'll definitely go over there and show y'all some love. It said DC for Life, Texas, and we're going to most picks. I'm saying Diggs with 15. I'm also only talking about against the E-girls. I feel it. But yeah, y'all definitely make sure y'all go over there and show some love to Angry Cowboys and Sports Junkie. No, we always want to support independent content creators, man. So y'all make sure y'all go and like and sub, show their pages some love, man. And also, man, you know, show some love to the home team as well, man. Make sure if y'all ain't already sub to Landlord, sub to West Coast, sub to Tuck. Make sure you, Boss Cowboy, y'all make sure y'all go and sub to all the independent content creators, man. Make sure that y'all keep the love going. All right. So I don't really want to see the history of it. I know that they opened up the passing game, but I want to just get to y'all about the attributes of the Air Coryell. All right, so they claim that the Coryell offense is based on Sid Gilman's offense that required the defense to defend the entire field. The passing game was based on timing and rhythm, and coaching the system required a lot of repetition. Coryell expanded on those principles by putting receivers in motion. With the new defensive rules limiting contact to near the line of scrimmage, receivers in motion would be virtually impossible to jam. Coryell not only placed wide receivers in motion, he did so with tight ends and running backs. Putting the players in motion also had the advantage of allowing the quarterback to determine pre-snap if the defense would be playing zone or man-to-man defense. It was easier to read the coverage before the snap than afterwards due to the pass rush. It also harder for a defender to cover if he has to change direction with the receiver instead of squaring up and getting set before a play. Defenses that react to motion could get confused, leaving a defender in the wrong position. He says, "Boss, yeah, last time I checked, Boss is okay." Yeah, last time I checked, Boss was fine. Yeah, Warren Moon, Dan Marino, Fran Tarkenton. That's another guy that doesn't get talked about a lot. Fran Tarkenton was out there going crazy. I know he didn't get the championship with Minnesota, but he was a baller. Like, there's a bunch of great quarterbacks, from yesteryear that don't get talked about a lot. That were ballers. They just didn't win championships. Randall Cunningham. I'll tell you somebody that I enjoyed watching. That prime wasn't really long. Dante Culpepper. Like, Dante Culpepper had a slight, like 4 or 5, 6 year stretch where he was just going crazy. And maybe it was the injuries, maybe it was the system, but he had some great highs, some low lows and some great highs. Dante Culpepper was a real fun quarterback to watch as well. All right, so let's see what else they said. The offense did not have any set formations, as receivers could line up anywhere on any given pass play. Passes were thrown to a spot before the receiver even got there, allowing defenders no hint where the pass was being targeted. Each receiver had 2 or 3 different route options they could adjust depending on the coverage during the play. Remember, Air Coryell, option route. Option route, option route, option route. So remember, the receiver could adjust depending on the coverage, meaning the receiver and the quarterback would have to be on the same page. So when they are on the same page, it is an offense that is virtually unstoppable. Because you're just beating them to the spot. You're beating them with the throw. They can't really do too much with that. So when you're on with the Air Coryell offense, the option routes are working. It's virtually unguardable. The issue is, how often can you be on the same page with all your wide receivers? All your wide receivers have the option to sit the route down here, to break in, to break out. You're never going to be on the same page with everybody all the damn time. That's why when we were implementing Air Coryell in Dallas, you saw the miscommunication that led to interceptions. You saw the tip passes that led to interceptions. You saw them not being on the same page with what route to run, and the ball would hit the defender right in the belly because the receiver ran a different way than the quarterback thought that they would be going. So Air Coryell, it's a system you can put up great numbers in. It's a system, it's a system that is very flexible, involves a lot of motion, right? Like all those things that we're speaking on, all those things that we're speaking on, most modern NFL offenses use them, even if they're not, a Air Coryell offense. Most offenses now use motion. A lot of these offenses use option routes, but relying too heavily on that comes at a detriment. He said E-Girls will trade A.J. Brown at the deadline. Man, it might be some crazy shit. I'm ready to see what happens with that though. So yeah, now let me ask y'all a question. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Dwayne. Tolbert had trouble with that, and the reason that Tolbert had his struggles with the Air Coryell system, he's a young ass wide receiver. Like he has not seen NFL coverages at all. He came into the league, was supposed to learn option routes and know when to run this route at what depth, right? And we all know that most NFL defenses are not vanilla enough to just sit in what they're really running. If they're running cover 3, it might look like cover 2 before the snap. If they're running cover 2, it might look like man before the snap. If they're running zone, right? If they're running zone, it might look like man before the snap. If they're running man, it might look like, zone before the snap. Like these offenses are very good. These defenses, I should say, are very good at disguising what they're actually doing. We seen it in the playoff game, right? Dak Prescott just knew in his heart that he was throwing against man coverage because he brought a dude across the field. The linebacker came across with him. They hiked the ball. He just knew he had a one-on-one matchup, and it was a pick 6 because it was a damn zone. Right? You can disguise things so much more easy. I'm sorry, not easier. It's so much harder to get a bead on NFL defenses because they disguise things way better, right? They simulated man coverage by bringing a blitzer across the formation with the motion guy and then just bringing the blitzer and still falling back into the zone. Looked like man all the way up until the ball was in the air, and then it was obviously zone, and it went back the other way. So those are the kind of things that you will see at the NFL level, and that's why it's hard to just come in and expect a young wide receiver to adapt to an Air Coryell offense and understand option routes. Right? He said, "Good morning, HTM. Never too early for a drink when you a Cowboys fan and ain't got no game to watch." Hey, salute to you, Goddess, the poet in the building. What's up with your family? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. And yeah, man, listen, I'm excited about these games, man. Truth be told, at this point, I love watching playoff football when the Dallas Cowboys aren't involved because it's less stressful. Like the actual football watcher in me can sit back and enjoy the game with no emotion, right? I can enjoy the game with no emotion. I can look at things from a different perspective. So I still like watching the games even after Dallas Cowboys get eliminated because I'm just a fan of football, and it's a lot less stressful. But salute to y'all, Eagles fans. Eternal Dynasty said Eagles fans have no idea. All they keep talking about is how the Cowboys were first in offense with him. Fool's gold. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick before we get into reviewing the quarterback position. When was the offense good? Was Kellen Moore's offense good with the other quarterbacks he had, or was it good with just Dak Prescott? That's the question that they need to ask. Because people tend to believe that Dak Prescott was the only quarterback that played in Kellen Moore's system. And that's not really the case. That's not really the case, is it? Andy Dalton, who was a Pro Bowl quarterback, before he came to Dallas, was supposed to be the best backup quarterback in the National Football League when we acquired his services, right? That's why it was breaking news, right? When we picked him up. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler. former second round pick, put up all kind of numbers with the Cincinnati Bengals when he was there, and it just did not work out when he played in Kellen Moore's system. Right? They struggled mildly to score points. They struggled with Andy Dalton, who was a Pro Bowl quarterback, right? And he still had weapons. Like you can make a point about the offensive line and their struggles, but they still had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz. The Dallas Cowboys playmakers and wide receivers were still there. They were still there, fully healthy, playing in Kellen Moore's scheme, and we struggled. Shout out to my boy Jay Recruiter for the $5 super chat. He said defenses are catching up to offense. Thus, less passing yards and touchdown passes in the NFL. Running game is coming back. I hope so. And listen, I hope that is going to push the Dallas Cowboys to invest in the running back position. Because listen, I love our wide receivers. I love Dak Prescott. But I don't necessarily want the fate of my season riding on one component of the offense. Because listen, really, if we're being honest, one-dimensional offenses do not win championships. Kansas City, even though they put up the godly passing stats, when they need to run the football, they can still run the football. We see the Ravens running the football at a high level with both their quarterback and a litany of running backs, right? Their scheme just works. They had multiple running backs, and they're still able to run the football. Detroit Lions, one of the best running games in the National Football League, still got a 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback, still got an all-pro wide receiver, right? A great tight end that they just drafted. They're still not one-dimensional. We also know when we look at the one team that we cannot beat in the NFC, right? The San Francisco 49ers. They got a dominant run game. They throw the ball the least amount of any team that's in the NFL, but they still got 3 all-pro pass catchers. They got a quarterback that was in the MVP conversation, and they still run the football, right? So hopefully the Dallas Cowboys learn that you cannot be a one-dimensional team and continue to win football games. Like, you can get away with that shit in the regular season because you're going to play Washington twice. You're going to play the New York Giants twice. You get the opportunity to play the Falcons, who probably won't be a great team this year. You get the opportunity to play the Panthers again, who are in shambles. So you get to play some teams that you could be one-dimensional against and win some football games. The issue is you cannot live off that in the postseason. So hopefully they get around to getting the running game back on track. Hopefully they get the running game back on track, man. But yeah, like we talk about Kellen Moore, his offense wasn't good with Andy Dalton, despite the fact that Andy Dalton had Amari Cooper and Andy Dalton had CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz and a healthy Michael Gallup, right? So, and Ezekiel Elliott was still a 1,000-yard rusher, and we had Tony Pollard. So he had all the weapons in the world and could not produce a great offense with Andy Dalton. Then we go to Cooper Rush, right? Cooper Rush in his offense was one of the least efficient passers in the National Football League. Dallas Cowboys passing offense was one of the worst in the National Football League with Cooper Rush. We won games, don't get me wrong. We were able to lean on the run game a little bit, but we barely averaged 20 points a game with Cooper Rush and the same weapons, right? We saw Ben DiNucci try to play for us. That did not work. We saw the board from the Arena Football League try to play for us. Then that shit did not work. So we've seen Kellen Moore with other quarterbacks. We even seen Kellen Moore with a quarterback who was supposed to be better than Dak Prescott, right? When we talk about Justin Herbert, right? We talk about Justin Herbert, and this was a down year for Justin Herbert. Even before he got hurt, the Chargers offense was taking a step back, right? If I'm not mistaken, they could not even score 10 points against the New England Patriots. Garrett Gilbert, thank you. That's the boy name, Garrett Gilbert. So yeah, man. So this thought process that he just had this amazing offense and it didn't matter the quarterback. It's not true. And this is one thing they never actually answered for me yet. Why did Dak Prescott have his best season when he left and he was such a guru? If he was such a great innovative play caller, then why did Dak Prescott become an all-pro quarterback, in the midst of an MVP caliber season, the same exact year that he left, right? So listen, there are things that Kellen Moore does well. I like that he implements motion, and he's been implementing motion a little bit more with the Chargers. That might be something, that might be something that he brings over with them there. I like some of his play designs. I do. I like some of his play designs. But it does not matter how good your plays are designed if you do not know when to call them. It does not matter how good you are as a passing offense if you are one-dimensional. He said, how many points per game did the Chargers average? Not many. Not many. So let's go out here and take a look. And then we'll finally get to the part of the show where we talk about the grading of the quarterback room. Well, matter of fact, let me make sure my brother ain't finna go live. If my boy finna go live, we're gonna cut it short. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna rock on for 15 more minutes, and then I need all of y'all to go over to Landlord Sports and show my brother some support. He does the 11 o'clock show. So, matter of fact, fuck Kellen Moore. I'm gonna just tell y'all that his offense was trash. They averaged, where the Chargers at? They averaged 20 points per game this year. They were the 21st ranked scoring offense in the National Football League. They were the 21st ranked scoring offense in the National Football League. So yeah, that's all we need to know about them. They did not do very well. But let's go ahead and talk about the quarterback room real quick. This shouldn't take long. But when y'all go over the Landlord's page, after we do this, I need y'all to put liquor store raid in the chat box when you tap in with my brother. Said my big cousin told me the girls like you when it's football season, and the girls like you switch to basketball players. He said Tatum Bethune is a fun late round outside linebacker. What people? Yeah, that curl route shit ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work at all over there, man. It's not gonna work at all. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the quarterback room real quick, man, before we get out of here. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want y'all opinion first. And we're going to look at the regular season, right? We're going to break it up. We're going to look at the quarterback room in the regular season, and we'll look at the quarterback room in the postseason, just to see how y'all feel about it. So on a scale to 1 to 10, regular season only, what grade would you give Dak Prescott? Regular season only for this year, what grade would you, the people, give Dak Prescott? Remember, we're going to give him a separate grade for the postseason. So regular season only, what grade would you give Dak Prescott? My brother Dwayne Brown said an 8. Rev Rebel said an 8. Jeffrey Smith said a 9. A 9 from JV B-Boy. James Simmons with a 9. Troy with a 9. 7.9, sorry. Johnny with a 10 plus. Stephen White with an 8. Danny White with a 9. I see more 9s, 8s, 8s, 9s. Okay. So the consensus from everybody, 434 Cowboy, Joe Tranchina, if this was a grading scale, he would have aced the regular season. Kendrick Thompson, 7.5. Yeah. And listen, I understand the 7.5s too, because he had a slow start. First 5 games of the season, he didn't look great. The 11-game stretch run to end the season, 12-game stretch run to end the season, he was fantastic. So I can understand 7.5, 7.9s, 8s. I understand that. Like, that makes perfect sense when you really put it into context, right? A lot of us just look at the overall body of work, but if you look at the first portion of the season, and then you look at the second half of the season, right? Very average to start, great football to end, and then we saw the postseason, and we tried to assassinate Cuz. Yeah, Dak Prescott might need volume or something. He said Dak did it without a running game, so we're gonna give him extra points for that. That's also fair, right? So Dak Prescott graded out fine, in your opinion, for the regular season. And I can agree with that. What's up with you, Miss Etta Lockhart? I would agree with that. All right, so this one is going to be harder. Given what you know about the young man, what would you grade the boy Trey Lance? I done called the man Trey Young. What would you grade Trey Lance? I want y'all to think about it contextually, because you did not see him play a snap. But also, at no point during this season did they allow that he either was not allowed to win the second team job, or he flat out just couldn't win the backup job. So either the Dallas Cowboys did not allow him to win the second quarterback job, or he was not able to. And we really don't know the context, because we know the kind of Game of Thrones games that our front office be playing. Incomplete. We'll give him an incomplete. DNP did not participate. Exactly. I'm going to give Cuz an incomplete. So I'm going to say 2 things about this. Either one, we can overreact and say he should have found a way to win the quarterback 2 job, right? Either like, that's the only thing you can say. Like, he couldn't beat out Cooper Rush. That may not be true. We don't know if he was even allowed the opportunity to beat out Cooper Rush. Like, they might have just brought him in, put him on the back burner to have a top end QB3, and they could actually allow him to go out there and win quarterback 2 in training camp and preseason this year. And really, Trey Lance and his development is one of the things I'm looking forward to the most going into the 2024 offseason. Like, I'm ready for training camp. I'm ready for the preseason, because I want to know what he does. I want to see how well he plays. I want to see if he starts the season as quarterback 2, because there will be competition. He'll be very expensive to keep around, right? If you keep him around, going forward, I think it's like a $5 million cap charge or some shit like that. So it'll be very interesting to see if they allow an actual open quarterback competition between him and Cooper Rush. I'm also going to go ahead and ask y'all this one. What would you grade Cooper Rush? Cooper Rush going forward into this season. Remember, Cooper Rush did take snaps. they did not matter in the totality of the outcome of games, right? Because we played in a bunch of blowouts, him coming in and playing in a relief role. But what grade would you have given a Cooper Rush for what you've seen in his limited reps? JVB boy said a 4 for Cooper. 4 for Rev Rebel. A 2. I mean, yeah. I pretty much agree with what y'all saying. Joe said a 6. Joe is being very lenient with his grading scale. I like it though. I can't barely remember exactly. Relief role for Cooper Rush. I'm gonna give y'all the numbers for it. All right. So Cooper Rush had a QBR of 52 this season. He completed 75% of his passes, which would be a career high. He only attempted 24 though. 18 completions, 8 out of 24 attempts, 144 yards. Average 6 yards of completion, which is well below league average. 0 touchdown passes, 1 interception, a long of 29, and a quarterback rating of 72. Yeah, 52 QBR is not great. I don't really know what the strategy was. I would have hoped that Trey Lance came in and, got the quarterback 2 job. Because one, he said that ain't bad for 3 games. Well, let's see. He played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we seen fourth quarter hat Dak in 5. Hold on. We actually seen fourth quarter hat Dak in more games than that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so he's taking snaps in 7 games. And listen, that's decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did not have to do anything. He's just a relief player. It said McCarthy is a quarterback whisperer, I guess. I think McCarthy can help Dak more. I think that he will. I think year 2 in this offense will be good for Dak. That's one of the only silver linings in bringing Mike McCarthy back, is that you do have some continuity. You will be able to continue to see them grow together, continue to see them build in this offense. And, hopefully the run game gets resolved and the Dallas Cowboys, he said, I stopped watching 4 games after garbage time. It's no problem. He said, T. Foster, hey, we just grading the quarterback room as a whole. I didn't think it'd be fair to just grade Dak Prescott when we're going to grade everybody else in every other room. Because we're going to have to grade all the wide receivers next time around. We're going to grade the tight ends. We're going to grade the offensive line. And, of course, we'll get to the defensive side of the ball. We'll grade the defensive line, the linebackers, the corners, the safeties, etc. I just thought it's only fair to grade the other 2 quarterbacks and grade Dak Prescott. I know it's not a big sample size at all, but, just had to be done. Only thing helping Dak is a left tackle, a center, and a bruiser running back. And I agree with that. I agree that Dak Prescott is a super talented quarterback. He's an all-pro quarterback. But I think in the postseason, he needs more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right? Nothing wrong with that at all. Dak Prescott probably just needs, situations where you can take the ball out of his hand. You just need some situations where you can take the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand when he's not feeling it, wait till he gets back on track, and he'll cook. Because listen, if we had a run game that could have kept us in the football game in the first half, Dak Prescott would have, calmed down. He would have got into the game, and he would have made some plays just like he did. He said, HTM, I'm still stuck on a 52 rating against backup players, man. That's why Trey Lance needs to be quarterback number 2. Off of pure athleticism and off of pure physical traits alone, he would be a better option for me than Trey Lance. But y'all, hey man, my boy finna get ready to go live, man. I just wanted to come on here and give y'all my thoughts about this Kellen Moore stuff. I actually intended to go live earlier, so we have a little bit more time to chop it up. But I got caught up doing some stuff around the house. So thank y'all for coming in and showing love to the liquor store. If y'all got love for me, y'all will go show love to my brother, landlord from Alabama. Go flood his chat box. Tell him his boy Henny sent you over. You can put HTM raid or liquor store raid, either one. But we finna have a raid. Say who has a Trey Lance film session? I'm trying to see some. J Tuck. If anybody got a good film breakdown on these players, man, it's J Tuck. J Tuck probably got a fire-ass Trey Lance film session. So go check my boy out, man. But yeah, we gonna go raid the trap, man. We ain't the Fed, but we finna go raid the trap right now, man. I need everybody to go over there and say HTM raid, liquor store raid, man. There are 53 of y'all in the chat box right now. I need all y'all to go show my brother some love, man. So, hey, I will see y'all over there. I definitely will be watching like the rest of y'all. So, peace. God bless. Hit that like on the way out. Hit the share on the way out. Hit that Cash App and that Super Chat on the way out. And continue to slap the dog shit out of these Eagles fans, man. Peace, love, God bless. And I'll see y'all over there in the trap, man. Hey, liquor store raiding.